Hello everybody, how are you all? Right, I promised that I'd be back and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it before the weekend, but hopefully I'll be able to get this up, but I won't be doing anything else now till next week. So on my Edith Holden notebook, and I think on my flip through as well, I did actually say that I had an idea for more Edith Holden paper because I love Edith Holden paper and so does a lot of other people, as we all know. I want to make a journal and I want to make it like I make all my other ones with about 3 or 4 signatures in it, and my idea is I'm going to do a bit of a sort of a section video. So I'll do like a video for the cover, and then I'll do a video with the inserts, and then a video for the ephemera, if you kind of follow what I mean. So it'll be about maybe 3 or 4 part video depending on how everything goes. I've never done this sort of thing, so I'm kind of looking forward to doing it. I was going to cut the chipboard, but I thought no, I'm going to do everything on the video, so if anybody's new to doing this or they're not sure how to cut the stuff, then everything could be in this. To save a little bit of time, as we all know, it's hard to choose what papers, so what I've done is I've had to go into another book, which is a little bit upsetting, but there's only so many pages that you can use. So this is my first choice. This will be the front and that would be the back. So I quite like that one. That's a very possible. Then I've got this one, which is the same way around, which will be the front and the back. Obviously it can be the opposite way around because I can cut the spine, but in fact I think if I remember because I tried to work everything out before I'd done the video so it wouldn't take too long. I've actually got to cut the spine anyway because the width of my spine is actually bigger, as you'll see in a minute. And then I've got this one. Now I don't think I'm going to use this one, but I might use this for the inside of the journal. So that can go to one side. I've decided on that one. That I need for the spine because I want a plain bit for the spine. So I think I'm going to go for this one. Yeah, we're going to go for this one. Right. First, what I need to do though is I need to cut the chipboard. Now, I got this a while ago because I've actually got another Etsy shop that I sell chipboard shapes, and I'd ordered some 1mm thick chipboard. This is what arrived, and this isn't 1mm, this is 2mm, and it is solid. So I've got A5 sheets of this, which is perfect for journals because I don't have to cut anything down. Only on this one, because these pages are not very big, it works, but it doesn't give me a lot of room either side for putting the spine. So what I've decided to do on this is I'm going to cut it down height wise and I'm going to cut it down width ways. So it'll be a little bit different to what my other journals are in that respect, but everything else should still be the same. So what we're going to do first is get the trusted cutting board, and I'll need my knife. Now I've already measured and I've already made a note of what I need. So I need to make it 14 centimetres wide, and I will only be cutting one at a time because it's so thick. So all I do for this is I just measure, like when I was cutting the signatures. So just take it to the edge, get a pencil and just mark 14. And you've not got to worry about seeing any pencil lines or anything like that because obviously everything's going to get covered. I usually do about three marks, and then you know it's going to be covered with the going to be covered. That's not what I meant at all. It means it doesn't matter where you cut it, you will still see the pencil lines. So let's turn it that way because I've just noticed a bit of a crease on that one and a bit of crease on that one. Never mind. Might cut it off. Yeah, I should cut that. Okay. I've been told on my last videos that I've got to have more confidence in myself. And it is so hard to do because I just don't, I just can't sort of get my head round. People would want to watch me So I'm trying not to apologise for anything, and I'm just sort of getting on with the video, and hopefully it'll work and it's easy for you to follow. I'm just marking this one at 20. So 20 that way, 14 that way. I forgot to do it on that one. So do it that way around. No, do it that way around. Because I'm going to cut that off. No, what am I doing? Oh, it's that way around. Not concentrating. Okay, that's that one. No point trying to cut it the other way, because if I mark it, I'm going to be too short. I always do about 3, because then it gives you a chance for either end and the middle. Right. This piece I've already cut at one point. As you can see, I've got pencil lines. So what I'm going to do, I think it should be straight. Yes. No, what I'll do actually, I'll get a brand new sheet because I want a straight edge. But you can use this for the spacer in between. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Right, I want this about 4 centimetres. I always think about 4 gives it a good spine. I can get about 3 signatures in it, and that's usually about what I'll do. Well, this one I'm going to do 3 anyway. So you don't have to use chipboard. You can use whatever you like. You can use thick cardboard. You can use thick card. It's just I've got, like I say, I've got all this chipboard, and I can't use it for anything else because it's just too thick. It really is just too thick for anything, and it's not the easiest thing even to cut with scissors. So what we'll do, right, I hope I can get this okay. Right, we'll do the spine first. Get my trusty knife out, and then all I do is line that up with your marks. And like I said before, you can use the lines on your mat, which I usually do. I don't usually use the horizontal lines very much. I just use the vertical. And then all I do is once that's level, I just get my knife, press it down. And that's that gone through. And then at the top, a bit awkward sometimes just to level this because there's not much for the ruler to balance on. Actually, that's pretty good. I'll go over that. It's just fiddly for these bits. I should have maybe done this bit first. Okay, that's that one. I noticed in my video I say okay a lot. I am so sorry. It's just, I find a word that's like a comfort word, because if you don't really know what to say, I don't like to just think that I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. It's just when you concentrate on something, you forget to speak. Okay, and I did it again, so just ignore me. Just ignore that bit. Right, let's go through this. I'm not going to lie, it is hard to hold with the ruler. So don't worry if you just go off slightly, because you won't see that anyway, because everything will get covered, and a few mil is nothing. I'm just making sure I've done all that, and then just make sure that I am actually in view. But I am, so it's okay. Right, that's not bad actually. I'm not even looking to see if it's on the line on the map, but it is. Okay, so that's that first one, and you can double check to make sure that it is actually level. So it's 14 by 20, and that'd be perfect, because when that goes on your paper, it gives you a little bit more around that, and I've got to bring it this way a little bit. You'll see what I mean, because I need to put a piece of paper in, because for the size of the spine, I don't want a really thin spine. So I've got to doctor it a little bit, which is not a problem because it's a junk journal, and they're usually made up of anything that you can get your hands on, but they look fabulous at the end. Well, that's the theory anyway. Not that I say anything that I do is fabulous, so I'm not talking about my things, I'm talking about everybody else's. Okay, and then we'll just do... See, I wasn't sure whether to do this, because I thought, oh, it's wasting a bit of time, you know, people don't need to see you cutting. But I wanted to try, I just want to show you the whole process. And what is the point of doing a video to say, oh yes, this is what I've done, but you don't need to do this now, because I'm not going to show you how to do it. Right, that is your cover. Well, well, yeah, it is a cover actually. So that would go, let me move the board out of the way. This is how it would look. Okay, that's your base of your journal. So my plan is that what I'm going to do, that would actually get flipped. Let me move you out of the way. So open it up like this, and you'll see how I mean. It might work though, but I don't think it will. Okay, so roughly judge it just now. It doesn't have to be exact. See, when the spine goes in, there really is not a lot of room. But I might actually be able to do it, because as long as I've got enough room. I mean, this could go horribly wrong, and as usual, you'll be the first to see. As long as I've got something to turn. Yeah, that might actually work. Remember the piece of chipboard? This is how I usually do it. I usually pop it up there, prop that together, and then just put your finger on that. And bear in mind, you're not gluing anything, and then just inch in. But I think what we'll do is inch that in a little bit more that way. That's too much actually. Let's just do this. What I usually do when I've positioned it right is I usually just put a pencil mark. Just balance that so it doesn't move. Right, that's perfect. That's just where I want it. So what I do is I usually just put a little pencil mark there, a little one down here, just on the corners, so you can just see. The middle one I'm not too bothered about, because what I usually do is I usually do that last anyway. And then this comes the sort of fun but messy part. Right, I want to glue it down. And that's why I kind of got a couple of things, a couple of covers that I wasn't sure of, because if the first one doesn't work, I've got space, I've got chance again to do the other one. Right, I just use Mod Podge. The matte Mod Podge is fantastic for this. You can use any Mod Podge, well, in fact you can use any glue that you like. You've got PVA, whatever, it really doesn't matter what you use. All I do is I just get hold of the cover, and then I literally just slap the glue on it. Now do try and hurry up, because I've noticed that this does sort of drink it in. And all I do is I just make sure that the edges obviously have got a good covering. And then just cover, make sure the centre, obviously you've got to make sure, it's covered, but it doesn't need to have a lot of the glue. Okay, that should do. Right, so that. And then we'll pop that over. And then just go in on my marks. And like so. And then we'll just press that down. Like that. And what we can do is take these off, get the bone folder, and I just flip it over. And this also gives you a chance to just make sure that you have actually positioned it right. So I like how that is. So the writing. It's got important butterfly and flowers. Right. Now, what we'll do is we'll do this side. I've noticed that there's bits where they've cut this, so I don't want that. Okay. Good way of getting the glue. My trusty Mod Podge brush, well loved. It's the only one that is a decent size for doing this sort of thing, and I don't lose the bristles on it, which is always helpful. I done one once and I used a brush and I thought, oh, this is fine, it's fine, and I ended up with more bristles on my glue and on my paper than I did on the brush itself. It's terrible. Right, swap that over. I do a lot of things with my left hand and then a lot of things with my right. I'm actually right-handed, but I can sort of, I always try to do a bit with both. I don't know why. Right. It is an easy journal to do. This is how I do all my journals. No matter whether it's fabric or paper or whatever I'm using. Okay. Before that's properly stuck down, you can actually just double check to make sure that everything's still fine, and that is fine. In fact, if I just do that, just shove you over just a smidge. That's it. Yeah, that's fine. So that just go over just a little bit more. That's it. That's one good thing about not pressing it down too much, because you just give yourself just that little bit extra and just make sure that's still, yeah, that's fine. Space there. Oops. Space there. And space there. So that's fine. Right. Let's flip this over. Nice good burnish. You can press it down again here as well. Make sure the edges are pressed down. I notice sometimes even when I turn it over and press it down, it still doesn't always stick the edges for some reason. I don't know why. Right. Now, the next bit, same process. Just get your glue and slap it on. Not too much, obviously, because you'll get it everywhere. Like the other day, I was using, if anybody follows me on Instagram, you'll know that I've done, I would say, a masterboard, but, oops, but in the term very, very loosely, because it turned out to be a disaster. And I said, oh, I think I need to put some white splatters on this. So I did. And the white splatters went everywhere, all on my scissors, yeah, everything that was there. Oh, one thing as well, what I just do is I just make sure that those are level. I forgot to actually mention that, and I forgot to check myself. I put my card there just to make sure that it's level at the top, and then obviously level at the bottom, and then just get your bit in between and do your wiggle. And that is, let me just get a tissue to wipe the glue before I decide to sit it in it. Okay, and I'll turn that over. Now, we're not going to worry about the spine, because I'm going to do my fancy trim thing down the middle of this, like I did on my notebooks. Okay. So what we're going to do is just bend that round, just press that in, like that. Okay, now comes the interesting bit. Now sometimes I have a nightmare with spines, because sometimes they split and sometimes they don't. and I don't really want it to split it do either, to be honest with you, apart from just stay as normal. So all I do, same glue, but I'm going to just trim the edges. So, well, not the edges, the corners. So all I do is I just literally just leave about 1 mil and then just flip that. Yeah, you can see. Just do that. No, it doesn't matter if it's too much because you can always fold the little bits in. Just make sure there's no excess. Okay, moving that way. Right, before I actually do anything, what I do is I usually get my bone folder and just go along the edge and just prise it up a little bit. So you sort of work in the paper, and you can actually fold it over as well. And this all helps when you actually put the glue on. So the paper knows where it's going. That's the idea anyway. Okay, do the same. And we'll sort the corners out in a sec. But I just want to fold the paper over first. And we are going to cover the inside of this as well, so we've not got to worry too much. I'll just take that down. I mean, there could be easier ways of doing this. I know some people use double-sided. I did on one of them. I've got some really wide double-sided tape. I've done a journal. It was a commission, and I thought, oh, I'll try this tape. So I use it, that's fine. But the only problem is you don't get a lot of leeway with it, because once it's stuck, it's stuck. And with any wet glue, when you're doing something like this, it's always sort of handy to have that little bit of give. Okay, so just do that. Right. Now comes the fun part. I usually start with the side bits first. I have to think then which bits I do. Yeah, I do the side bits first, so get some more glue. And then I run it down the edge. I don't put too much on the paper itself because I actually bring that up onto the mat. I always find it easier doing this way. But if you find it easier by doing the paper, then by all means, you know, whatever you're comfortable doing, please do. I've always sort of done it this way. So just put a bit on there like that. And then I just fold that up. Hold it down a little bit. And just press that down. Always running your ruler or your bone folder just along the edge, like so. Now I always find it gets really messy, so get a tissue or a bit of rag or whatever you want to use, just so you don't put it over everything, that's all. And just press it down. You can do it with your fingers if you want, but I don't like getting too messy. I'm a bit weird like that. And then I just run my tissue down, and that's one bit down. Or one bit done, I should say. I could actually get my my cloth. I think it has a health warning because I use it for paint and I use it for, yeah. I think that was when I done the mood board, master board, whatever you want to call it, disaster board, I think. So that didn't really work too well. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, let's get. I hope this is easy to follow, and I'm trying not to waffle too much. I'm sorry. I mean, this is probably like, you know, what are you doing? That's not how I do mine. You take so much time doing that. Okay. Same thing again. It's handy just to put your finger on. Just come on, sit down. That's it. And the good thing with the Mod Podge as well, it's matte, so you shouldn't really see it when it dries. Make sure you press that down. Now, I've never actually used the Edith Holden books for doing this sort of thing, so this is a new for me as well. Right, now let's do the top and the bottom. So, move that out of the way. Same thing, but what we do now in the corners is I just get my bone folder and I just fold, I just press into the corner and I just shove it in just slightly. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we will put metal corners on. I always like using them on my journals just to protect the corners. So just fold that in just slightly, either end, like so. And then the same process, get the glue, and then just go down, give it a good blob. I don't usually put too much on it because sometimes it can affect the paper itself. But I found that with the Mod Podge and this chipboard, it does actually dry pretty quick. So that's one good thing. Okay, and then just fold that over again. Sometimes it can be, let's get me rag. Sometimes it can be a bit just tricky. I think the longer bits are the worst. But that could be just me. And one thing I'm giving you definitely real time with this because I'm not speeding anything up, and this is how long it does take. So you can see all the time that goes into journals when they have been made. Right, I think what I'm going to do is just get another bit of tissue. I should use kitchen roll actually instead of tissue, but never mind. Okay, I'll turn you over. Don't worry about the spine bit at the minute because we'll sort that in a sec. Right, same thing again, just poke it in just slightly. And just watch that you don't rip the paper because if there is glue like there was on that bit, it does start softening the paper a little bit, so just be careful. That's one thing that I do sort of just say to watch. And again, like that. Oh, no, I don't want you, I want this. Get the glue. There's so many things that you can do with, I mean, you could even do this with 12x12 cardstock. I mean, we've all made journals, but we wanted to do one with an Edith Holden paper for ages, so I thought now's the perfect time to do it. And what better to share it with my lovely friends that I'm making on here, because you guys are amazing. You really are giving me, or never mind giving me, you have gave me so much more confidence, because I'd lost my confidence and I'd lost the want to do anything. And with the lovely support and confidence that you've all gave me and the push that my family keeps giving me as well, I'm getting it from all angles. But you're just fantastic. You really are lovely. And it wouldn't, if it wasn't for your support, I wouldn't do it, because I have no confidence in anything that I do, as I've said millions of times before. But now, if it's what you want to watch, it's what you want to watch. If it's not, then I'm sorry that it's boring or not very good. You know, this is me. This is just who I am, and unfortunately I'm not going to change. I haven't in the last 36 years, something like that. Right, now all I do is I get my bone folder for the spine and I just gently press it. Now, if my bone folders are slightly thick, so what I usually do is get my my bit of chipboard that I've used and very, very gently, in fact I'll do it on this one because it's folded, very, very gently just press it just a little bit, not a lot. And if you see some of the paper lift up, don't worry, just press it down and it will go down. And you just gently just lever it, not a lot, because this is where I found that sometimes it does happen to actually split. So what we're going to do is just, like I say, just gently. I know some people don't do this until it's dry, but I always just, maybe that's where I go wrong. But you can see it's not too bad at the minute. So what we're going to do is just gently give it a little bit of a give. So at the minute, that is the beginning of our journal. Now the next bit, get rid of all this, we're going to cover the inside. And my plan was, whatever cover that I didn't use on the outside, we're going to use on the inside. So I don't want to use that one because I think that looks too nice, and I'm going to put a pocket in as well. So I think, didn't we say, I think this is what happens when you sit it on a bowl of sari silk. I've got a load of little bits of sari silk that remained off my tags. Now I can't get it off my hands with the glue. I'll show you in a sec. I have this. All the bits of sari silk that I had left over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some little clusters with some wax melts that I've got. And they might actually come into this. I might actually, because I've got to think of the ephemera to use, or what we're going to be using. Right. Now, if that goes in the spine, that's fine, not a problem. So what I'll do is, this is all new to me, because I usually do it with two separate bits or just one continuous bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll do it this way around. No, we're going to measure it. We're going to do it the proper way. So if we measure, right. I always give it about half a centimetre, roughly either end. Maybe just a little bit more. I think if we make it 19 and a half by yeah, see, this is where you don't have a ruler big enough. So that's 30 there. And like I say, you can put a little mark because you're not going to see it because it's going to be covered. So that's 30. If we do it 32. Yeah, if we do it 32. So what we'll do is we'll stand this to the side, and when I stand it I usually leave it like that, so it's kind of remembering how it needs to be. That's my excuse. Right, come my, oh, I just realised I never changed my blade, so I need, come out. It amazes me how they never come out when you want them to, but when you're trying to cut paper, they keep falling out. Okay. Go on, in. Thank you. Right, so if I, this could go completely wrong. Half 32 is 16. Is it? Yeah. Oh my God, 16. I was right. I got it right. And that doesn't really help me though, does it? Right. Yeah, it does. Fold that in half and we'll trim this at 16. If this goes wrong, it's everybody else's fault. I can always use another one. I'm guessing the 16's dead on that then. Just to be on the safe side, I think I'll just mark this because I didn't realise that the 16 was sort of non-existent on these rulers. That way. Not enough space. Just want one mark. 16. Want it there. Yeah, that is right, isn't it? 16. Yeah, 16, 16, 32. Yeah. This is 12. Yeah. Yeah, 32. Right. Oh, I was right. So it is actually on that very line. Oh, that's a bit off-putting, but okay. We'll go with it. Right, so let's just do this. That's the inside. Although it looks more one-sided. That's not very good. If that's the case. Oh no, we'll be okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're not going to see, I don't know why I'm worried anyway, because you're not going to see that because I'm going to put a bit in the middle. But I still want it to look good. Right, what did I say the top was? What did I say the height was? Oh. Piggy nail. What did I say that was? 19.5. 19.5 high. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to just trim it at the top because I don't want 19.5. Because I don't want too much of the writing. Although you're going to get quite a bit on that side anyway. So I'll do it that way. Yeah, that'll be fine. It is now because I've just cut it. It's that way around. So that's how it will go inside. That's in theory. So bring back the journal. No. I said journal, not you. Right, make sure you've got it the right way up because it's not the first time I've done it upside down. And then measure. How about that then? Looking pretty good. And I'm not bothered that that's upside down because anything that Edith Holden I'm fine with. Right, now the next bit is so easy. She says, you glue everything. You literally just coat everything with glue. I don't put it on the paper. I mean, you could always use Pritt Stick if you want, but I just carry on using my Mod Podge. Oh, I'm so tongue-tied today. My Mod Podge. Oh dear. Because what's the point of getting more glue out when you've already got this? Make sure you've got the edges covered. Don't worry if you've gone too close to the edge because it won't matter because you won't really see it anyway. And I always just drop a little bit in there. Not too much, just a little bit. I think once I've done the inside, I think that'll be it for this video because I need to actually dye some more tea dye paper because I checked and I haven't got enough. I think I've only got maybe less than one signature, which isn't very good. So it will give me a chance to do that. So like I say, I'll do this video because in the meantime, you know, you can have a good look through and say, I'm not doing that because it's stupid. I'm going to shut up doing that. Yeah. Ooh, little gummer. Because I just don't have confidence in me. But anybody can do this. Anybody can. Anybody has. I'm no different. I'm going around the flipping map with this thing. Right. And then just take it down. I'm a lot calmer in this video than I was in my last one because when I was trying to do my double pocket thing, everything went wrong. So this should hopefully be a lot better. Right. Now, get your insert. I'm not inking, I don't want to ink it because I think the paper looks beautiful as it is. So all I do is you just roughly judge, and don't press it down too much until you've made sure that it is roughly about where you need it to go. Okay, so just check all around the edges. Yep, and then once you're happy, I nearly said I'd lost my bone folder, and it's sitting there, and it's a bright pink thing on a white desk. So don't worry, you haven't got problems, I can assure you. Right, all I do is I just press it out. I'm not doing that, it's not a good thing. Concentrate on the edges. It will ooze, but just grab the glue before it oozes too much down the side. Like I said, not that it will matter, because if anything, it literally just protects the edges. So just run it across. And one thing about Mod Podge is it's a really good strong glue. So bring that down. And if there's any bits that are not sticking, don't worry, because you can just peel them up like I've got a bit here. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to get my spine folding. There it is. Right, and I just want to roughly... Oh, I know what I'm using the wrong bone folder. I've got this one that's got a bit more of a, yeah, it's thinner, basically. And I just gently run that down. Just ease it up. For a minute then I thought I put that upside down. Oh, that is not funny. I just looked at that flower and I thought, oh no, what have I done? Oh my. Oh dear. This is the joys of doing things on a video. Oh, where's my other bit thing? There it is. Right. Oh, I went all out then. I thought, well, that's just enough the video up. Okay. Like I said, don't worry too much. If the worst does happen, see, I need to get some glue on this bit because I've got no glue. If the worst does happen and the spine does happen to split, you won't see that because I'm going to put a bit in it. And if you are, which would be nice if you were, but if you are making one as well, sorry, I'm just putting bits of glue where I can see that it's not stuck. If you are doing the same, you don't have to do a fancy bit. You can, I mean, like I say, I'm only using the edge what I've designed for my notebooks, and I thought, well, it's something different. Okay. Yeah, using a tissue really isn't very good. I need to upgrade to, you know, better rag or some bit of kitchen roll or something, because tissues, and yeah, they really don't stick. Well, they do. That's what I meant, they stick to everything. So just slightly press it down, right, and then what I do, this is where it could go horribly wrong, just gently, just give it a little bit of a wiggle. But one thing about this paper is, because it's quite a thick paper and it is quite forgiving, so that's one good thing. And then just run your hand. What I usually do as well is in the middle, just to make sure that that is all stuck down, I just run my bone folder up and down, just to make sure that it's all stuck. And it has, by the looks of it. So I am really happy with that, really happy. And that is going to be the front. Now, I'm not sure really what I'm actually going to put on this. But I think, yeah, I think we'll leave it for now anyway. Right, I'm going to go, and because my battery is now flashing, so I don't want it to die on me after all this. So I'm going to go, and I'll be back hopefully in the next few days to do the rest of it. So